I want to talk about multi-location companies. Say, for example, you are the owner of a plumbing company that provides services throughout California. So you provide services along the coast from Santa Barbara to, let's say, San Jose. How would you structure your site in a way that you could capture all of these clients? What you do is simply one of both. So looking at the one on the left side, the way you'd optimize your URL and the inner pages would be something like this. So www.xyzcompany.com, then / plumber Sacramento, plumber San Francisco, plumber Riverside. So you'd include your keyword and then location. And these would be location pages. So on each one of these, and I'll cover that in a second, what you'd cover exactly, but you'd cover plumbing for that specific location. So service, then location would be the way you'd structure this. Then there's another way to do it, which is usually done in bigger sites, which is / locations / the location name. And this way you don't benefit so much of having your service keyword in there. So for example, on the one on the left, you had plumber. Here on the one on the right, you don't have the plumber keywords, but both work. Maybe the one on the left gives you a bit more relevancy and local relevancy, so it's the one I usually go with. So now the example I was referring to just a second ago. Let's say again, we're using the one on here on the left, and our URL has the plumber Sacramento. So service, then location. Each one of these pages would need to be super optimized for that specific location. And when I say super optimized, I mean really optimized. So you go to the extent of including facts and photos and things about that location in specific. So about Sacramento in this case itself. So let's start from the top. Of course, the H1 title needs to have your keyword. So service keyword, then the location. So plumber in Sacramento. You need to have exact match anchors or long tail versions of your keywords on the first paragraph of text. Then of course you need to have H2 titles and H3. So one H2, So one H1, only one H1, you don't want to confuse Google, multiple H2s and multiple H3s if you want. Then going to the image. Of course, you need to upload an image that's relevant to Sacramento or plumbing in Sacramento. Again, the alt text needs to be plumber Sacramento, and the file name of the image must also be keyword related. Of course, the image description must also be keyword and location related. Of course, you'll be adding several images to this page. And then at the bottom, or whatever you want it, they can be sprinkled out throughout the text. You need to include location relevant keywords or long tail versions of your keywords. So in this case, plumbing company in Sacramento, 24-hour plumber in Sacramento, Sacramento, California plumber, and some others. But something that's not clearly explained here is the super relevance you need to achieve. So you need this page to be relevant to Sacramento itself. So you need two things. You need to be super relevant to plumbing. So because this is a plumbing services company, you need to have the page super relevant to plumbing, but Sacramento as well. Like I was saying, include images of Sacramento, include, say, famous monuments in Sacramento, include facts about the location, outlink to some specific Sacramento news sources or pages or website. Make sure, this is really important, this page is hyper relevant to your service, so in this case plumber, but also hyper relevant to the location. Most people, when they build out sites, and it's normal, they only build them and the content on there is related and relevant to only the service they're providing, but I don't think about the relevancy of the location. And this is a great way to get that location relevancy. So talk about the location. Like I said, famous monuments, famous buildings, famous people, link out to trustworthy news sources where they maybe talk a bit more about Sacramento. Mention famous people that live in Sacramento, maybe the governor. I don't know, make sure this is super hyper relevant to both the location and the service. And I know I've just repeated myself like 10 times, but this is really important. Then, of course, the next location, the page would be exactly the same, but of course you change the keywords. Of course, you can also change the text a bit, because if this, like I said, this page is hyper relevant to the location, you'd need to change a couple of things in the text, but most of them could be similar. The structure itself could be similar, and the parts where you only talk about plumbing could be similar as well. So that's how you build out a multi-location site. So if you want to target again multiple locations throughout California, you do this structure, either or, and then the pages would all be the same, sort of this style. And what are the advantages of this? So the first one is that we have a single site relevant to several locations. Our site will become an authority, in this case, throughout California. This, of course, is directed to companies that provide services that require their workers to travel. So This is not for a dentist or a plastic surgery clinic. This is more for plumbers, electricians, drainage service companies. So companies that require the business to go out to the client. And the third one is that this is extremely valuable for companies that provide services in an entire city, for example, or area, and where people do not search for service in city, but service in location within city. So what does this mean? Instead of the person searching for plumber Sacramento, they just search for local plumber or just plumber or plumber services. So they don't mention the location. So what Google does is that Google will recommend sites that are authoritative in that niche and city and location, and of course that provide services nearby. So this is why having a multi-location site that covers a lot of areas is important, because you can also grab these types of people that don't search for the location in their search. And how can you monetize this? Because you can of course do this for your business, or you can do this just as an SEO. And what you do is you build a site and then build a bunch of location pages. They can all be the same. You build one for Sacramento, San Francisco, Riverside, and as many as you want, 10, 20, 30 pages. And what you can do is you can rent out these pages individually to different businesses. So right here we have 3 locations across California. So let me just go back. So 3 locations across California, 1, 2, 3. What you can do is you can rent out each of these individual pages. Rent out each of these individual pages to different businesses. So you can do a pay-per-call model. So you put their number here, for example, the business name from Riverside, the plumber phone number from Riverside. Here you put the plumber's phone number from San Francisco and the plumber's company phone number from Sacramento. And you'd have 3 unique businesses that you'd be getting them calls, and they'll be paying you individually for each of these pages. So you'd be basically renting out these different pages on your multi-location sites to multiple businesses. And yeah, this takes work, because building out these multi-location pages and then renting them out takes a lot of work. But there's plugins that do all of this for you, and I'll show you in just a second. The first one is this one right here, which is the Connect Rank and Rent WordPress plugin, which basically allows you to do this right here. So say this is the page you've built on your site. It allows you to easily overlay a site on top of that page, or just a call to action button. And I'll show you exactly how this works in just a second. And then this one right here, which is not released yet, but if you go to connect.co/mpg, so MPG, mass page generator. By the time this course is live, this should already be live, but it's basically a mass page generator plugin that allows you to generate all of these pages with one single click. So you basically input the different locations on the software, on the plugin, you click a button, and then it generates all of these pages for you with just a click of a button. But now let me just show you how this one on the left works. So if you go to connect.co/RNR, so rank and rent, you'll be redirected to this page right here, and I'll just show you how this plugin works. Super simple. And what this does is basically, like I was explaining, say this one, I'll give you the breakdown really in just a second. So say the one here is your client's site. Say this one is your site, and you've managed to rank it number 1. What you do is using this plugin, you overlay your client's site that's ranking, say, number 20, and all of a sudden they're ranking number 1, because you're basically overlaying their site on top of yours. So like I was explaining prior, say you have your site, a multi-location site, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, and in each one of these pages you overlay different companies' sites that provide services on these locations over yours. And remember, these ones are ranking number 1, and these ones are not. So now when someone searches for plumber San Diego, they'll get this site right here ranking number 1, but the real site that's overlaid on top of this one is this one right here. So people will be seeing this, not this. And here's an example. Let me go over it with you. So really quick, and you can watch this video later on if you want to, because it explains things more in detail. So this is the page. So this page right here is this one, okay? This Los Angeles page is this one right here, okay? It has nothing, but it's ranking number 1. What you do is you take a site, for example, this one, from a real company, you copy the URL, and you paste it in here in the plugin, and then you just hit publish. It's updating, as you can see here, and now the page overlays the actual site on top of it. Okay, so as you can see, this is the actual page. So before it was like this, as you can see here in the miniature, nothing related to plugin, nothing related to plumbers, and then you overlay their site on top of yours. Again, you can watch the video. It's super simple, but basically you rank your sites like this, rank them, and then overlay client sites on top of yours. That's it regarding this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.